everybody. The Mariners are 27-24, still in first place, and they're in the midst of this brutal East Coast road trip that they're on. It's gone wishy-washy. It's had its ups and downs. We'll cover that and plenty of more in this week's episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
Yeah, Mariners still in first place, still holding strong. It helps that the AL West is not a very good division this year.
We're the only team above 500 so far. The A's, they went on a losing streak, but Houston's been winning more, and we play them all next week, so we'll see what happens there. They're still
the Rangers below 500?
They are. Or
at 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like right around. They've had a really rough stretch. And it's worked out in the Mariners' favor. We're not playing terrible ball.
No. Competitive baseball.
For the most part. I mean, there's been some non-competitive games in there. But the Mariners are doing what it takes to win games and stay in first place. It hasn't always been pretty. And yeah, there's definitely been some just real stinkers out there. But for the most part, pretty good ball.
And I don't think we've been 5 games above 500 yet. We've been sticking in that 3-4 games above 500 and staying right there. And that's okay for now. And like you're saying, Patrick, they are finding ways to win and trying to implement their roster in different ways with the injuries, people coming back from the IL and going on the IL or day-to-day with injury. We're finding ways to win every day. And players that we thought are just kind of smaller role players on our team are really stepping up. So, let's get into what happened this last week.
So, Sunday was the final game of the Orioles series.
Yeah.
We wanted to take that series, didn't.
We got Corbin Burns on Sunday during the day, too. So, it wasn't the easiest day we were going to have. Corbin Burns is one of the best pitchers in the league when he's on. He hasn't been the best this year, but he's still Corbin Burns, and what can you say?
We had him going up against Kirby. Kirby has been a little rocky recently. We noticed that he had some issues with his knee that might have been causing some problems, and I even said when this game was going on that I thought that Kirby might do one of those phantom IL stints after it because he doesn't fully have it right now, at least for the last couple weeks. Gunnar Henderson on the Orioles hit another first inning home run.
Yep, that's the second time in this series he did that, just putting it on us early. That's not easy to go out there and the Orioles with their great offense, just putting it on us right in the first inning. Sucks. It sucks to work from behind all day.
And the problem with Kirby is teams have read the scouting report. They know he wants to start that count 0-1.
Yep.
He wants to attack the zone. He wants to get that first pitch strike. And teams are adjusting to it. The Orioles especially were swinging first pitch, and they were hitting them hard, and they were hitting them often.
Yep.
And it's a tweak in Kirby's game that he needs to change. Yes, you always want to start out 0-1 as a pitcher. That's the best count in baseball for a pitcher. But if these teams are jumping all over it, you throw the first pitch outside. Get them off their rhythm. And one funny thing, Riz has been talking about this a lot. He's been, I don't know if you guys have heard this on the radio, but where he's telling Kirby to throw some chin music at these guys and kind of dust them off the plate a little bit. And, make it so they're not comfortable in there because his control is so good. They know it's going to be right around the zone.
That is the adjustment the pitcher has to make when they do that. And they're swinging early and often. They know that they can be aggressive on pitches early in the count, especially going for the first strike. You need to throw inside. And, you have to make them move their feet and change their eyes, and their whole timing and rhythm is off. Kirby hasn't been able to pitch inside with authority. So that is the adjustment he needs to make. That's a good call by Riz. And also, Daniel Kramer wrote an article about Kirby, and the best quote I read in that was, Kirby was ambushed by 2 homers, 2 doubles, and a career-high 10 balls ripped over 100 miles an hour. So he just did not have his best stuff. The Orioles are a really good offense, and this is the first real test that we've had this year, I think. We haven't seen an offense of that caliber until that series. So, and Kirby hasn't been feeling comfortable and hasn't had his best stuff for a few starts now. So
we're going to get into it
not
after we
surprised.
kind of recap the game, but I was going to
Sure.
say later that night after the game, Kirby did say the thing he's upset about himself at is that he's not making the hitters feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which that's what Riz is saying. That's what Matt's saying. So must be right.
Translate perfectly.
Yeah, dust them off a little bit. You know, you don't want to peg anyone, and it's not like they're advocating for Kirby to throw at someone's head, but make them a little uncomfortable. Brush them back a little bit. You know, make it so they don't just stand there comfortable, knowing that every pitch is going to be right around that zone.
There's another thing that doesn't help George Kirby in this game. This was a day game. Cal Raleigh wasn't behind the plate, so he didn't have his normal guy back there setting up in the right hand, or the left-handed batter's box.
Batter's box.
But we had Sebi Zavala out there because Cal needs to take a day off every once in a while, even though he may not want to. We got to sit him down, and he did that day, and Zavala did not fill in very well.
No, man, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Zavala stinks. I'm tired of this guy.
Yeah.
First inning, right? We had maybe second inning. Can't remember. Early in the game, we had Rayleigh and Moore on base.
Second inning, yeah.
Second inning, right? There's 2 outs, right? Arias hits an RBI single. That's awesome.
Nice. Paid off.
Cut the lead 2-1. So
Yeah.
we're back in it already. No shutouts today. Capitalized on that leadoff double by Rayleigh, I think.
Yep.
And then Zavala flies out. Not very encouraging, right?
Yeah, with runners on.
With runners on.
in scoring position. Just, at least he put contact on the ball, but it didn't do anything. It's still useless.
I've heard enough. So immediately, next inning, Sebi's behind the plate, and he tries to throw a dude out at second and sails it into the outfield. And just at that point, I knew today's going to be a bad day.
Yeah, and that's early in the game. Second inning, Zavala couldn't get it done at the plate and immediately sailed it. Like, we've seen this before. This isn't the first time.
No.
And we want to see Zavala prove that he's something, and he's been absolutely negatively impacting everything he touches out there. And there's been 1 or 2 times or games where he seemed like, okay, cool, he can prove that he's better than that.
He's got a couple home runs, Every now and again, he'll do something good. I want to quote Jay Hay, one of the hosts of the Baseball is Dead podcast. Dude is the man.
Yeah.
He said, Sebi Zavala must be a very nice man because I can't figure out what he does as far as baseball goes. And I just want to say thank you, Jay Hay,
Justin Havens,
for shining a light on the Mariners, putting that in the spotlight instead of, anything else, any good things that they could have done. But you're right. Sebi stinks.
I will just say, though, Sebi already gets such little playing time.
Yeah.
Like, one, he's a backup catcher, and backup catchers are already used semi-sparingly. But with Cal being your everyday catcher, I mean, Zavala is almost never in the lineup.
Does not get a lot of play.
He's played in, like 4 or 5 games? Seriously, and I mean, and he's not someone that I'm advocating, more playing time, he'll do better. I don't think that's the case.
No, thank you.
But his playing time is already extremely limited.
When I went to try and pull some stats to kind of prove my point as to why he's bad, I saw it and I was like, dude has 18 plate appearances. This isn't enough to prove anything.
Yeah.
So, I just took this one series of plays where he flied out and then chucked one into the outfield just to be, there you go. That's enough. That's all you need to see. Eye test, dude stinks.
at the very least, he has to be good behind the plate and throwing out runners, and he hasn't been that either. So whatever.
One big takeaway from this game, Luke Rayleigh went 3 for 4. He would have went 4 for 4, but got absolutely robbed by an insane catch. What can you do? Still 3 for 4 on the day. Phenomenal day for Luke. He's doing a lot with the playing time that he's been given, and we're happy to see that.
Yep, Luke Rayleigh's taken huge strides forward. He was putting the bat on the ball all year long too, or when he did put the bat on the ball, it was with authority. He's a pull hitter for sure, and he puts the barrel on it. He's a big man, has a lot of power, he has a lot of speed, and he's showing that he can do it in the outfield, even though he looks a little awkward out there, as well as at the plate. I'm glad he's getting his normal at-bats because he has been awesome lately. He even made it onto my fantasy team.
Hey.
Yeah. I was like, who's hot? Luke Raley. He's the man.
Saw you picked up Dylan Moore, too.
I did that, too.
Man.
Those are my boys. I needed more Mariners representation on my team.
So the Mariners dropped that one. They dropped the series to Baltimore, 2-1. Realistically, it's not really that big of a deal.
It's not.
Nah.
You're on the road against, one of the top teams in baseball.
Corbin Burns struck out 11 guys, gave up 1 run. Like, that's what you expect from Corbin Burns against the Mariners.
And, you're not going to go 162-0. You're going to lose games. Like, I see so many people get upset, like, oh, the Mariners lost this, the Mariners lost this. You're going to lose games. That's just baseball. It's like the age-old adage, you're going to win 60 games, you're going to lose 60 games. It's what you do with the other 40 that make up what your season is.
Yeah, no doubt.
And to go on the road and battle it out, you drop the series, but you don't get swept. And It's not like the Mariners looked like they didn't belong.
We're playing really good teams on our road trip here. We're back-to-back. We went Baltimore to the Yankees on Monday. So we did drop the series to the O's. That's okay. We scored 2 on their bullpen late. We were really good against the Orioles bullpen that's been a little bit shaky this year. So that's something that we can hang our hat on there, is all the damage we did was against their bullpen, realistically. We've been struggling against starting pitching, and that carried into Monday when we had Logan Gilbert on the mound and we faced Marcus Stroman, who absolutely rolled the Mariners all day. So this game sucked for 8 innings. Like, until the 8th or 9th inning, this game was absolutely Yankees all day. It was 4-0 Yankees by the time anything even happened for the Mariners.
In the 6th inning, the Mariners had more errors than hits in the game, so kind of lets you know how that game was going.
I like that the Yankees outfield is small. They got to play their corner outfielders wherever, since they didn't have to cover as much ground or make long throws. But Haniger got the DH the first game, which is what we were talking about all last week. It's like, DH Haniger more. And Canzone was in right, which he made an impact to that day, because was that the day he made the diving catches?
A couple of them.
I think that was game 2.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think we had Raley in right that day. On Monday.
Yeah, Canzone was Tuesday.
Okay. I don't know. I just have Canzone in right, Raley in left. Either way, I like to see those guys in the corner outfield.
100%. That's
the Yankees ended up scoring 2 in the bottom of the first inning. Mariners had 1 hit, committed 2 errors through 6, like you said, Patrick. And of course, it was Luke Raley with the 1 hit. Stroman kept us off balance all day. He throws that slurve thing, he throws a cutter and a 4-seamer, so he was keeping us off balance. We couldn't do anything against him all day. Went 7 scoreless, 3-0 Yankees, and then in the 7th inning, it was kind of scary because we thought they were going to bury us here. I did. Kirby Snead came in and walked Soto and Judge, and then Verdugo blooped one into center field and loaded the bases. But luckily, early in the inning, it was Anthony Volpe tried to steal second base. He got on before the walks, and we threw him out. So there was 1 out with bases loaded, and we brought in Bizzardo because we're down 4-0, and we thought, oh, man, like, this does not look good at all.
Let's just put a warm body out there.
Giancarlo Stanton's up to bat. Bizzardo's coming in. We're down 4-0. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Like, shit. Here we go.
And let's be real. It doesn't matter who the pitcher is. Stanton could make that game 8-0 immediately.
And it's Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was scary, but the double play ground ball got us out of that inning. Bizzardo got him to ground to short, and we turned to double play. And the Mariners are alive. Luke Raley had another hit. the only 2 hits of the day until Canzone put us on the board with a solo home run in the 8th inning. So it's 4-1 Mariners or Yankees.
Yeah.
The Mariners are on the board. No shutout today, boys. And in Yankee Stadium, this is huge. That changed the momentum for the Mariners dugout, I'm sure. We knocked Stroman out of the game in the 8th inning with that home run. I guess at that point it's 3-1 Yankees.
Yeah.
JP got his way into the game, struck out his first at-bat pinch hitting.
Yeah, it was his return from the IL. He had actually returned the day before and didn't play. And then in this game got a pinch hitting spot. Worked a count, but struck out. What are you going to do? Then in the 9th inning, this is where
the heavens opened up.
The baseball gods smiled upon us Seattle Mariners fans. And Clay Holmes, who has been one of the top closers up there with Miller in Oakland.
He had a 0.00 ERA. He hasn't given up a run, and it was 20.1 innings or something like that.
The dude was unhittable, and the Mariners were like, bet.
Yeah, literally unhittable, dude. He hasn't given up a hit on his slider all year. He had a 60% whiff rate on a slider. So we were not feeling very great about this 9th inning. I'm sure every Yankees fan was like, oh, this is automatic.
We had something like a 2% chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we started off the 9th with a ground out. So 1 out, down by 3. And yes, the Yankees' win percentage at that point was 97.2%. But
oh, my God.
That's why you play the game.
As Saucedo would say, that's why you play 9 innings.
Yeah.
That's right.
And as Sarah Langs would say, baseball is the best. Wee!
She does say that. So, it's a big 9th.
It is a big 9th.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
So, you're right. Rojas grounds out. Julio battles and singles on an infield hit. Cal works a walk. Just hoping Julio doesn't get picked off.
Yeah, please don't get picked off, Julio. And then what? Cal's up to bat. Cal works a walk too. Mm-hmm. So while Cal's batting the whole time, I'm like, Julio, just stand on first base. We're good. Cal gets on base too. We have runners on first and second. Then we have Luke Raley up to bat, who's been our boy. He's been doing damage. He's putting the bat on the ball. This is who I want at the plate. And Luke Raley, he hits like a little squib ground ball up the middle towards second base. This thing's spinning all funny too. Gleyber Torres has to come in and field this ball on the run and try to get rid of it all quick. Off balance throw, right past Rizzo, straight to the wall, and we score. That's Julio scored on that. And we all moved up. So second and third base now.
Mitch Haniger comes up.
No double play opportunity, so that's good to see too. He was in the perfect situation. Haniger, he does the same thing Verdugo did to us early in the game. Bloops one into center field. And we score again.
Woo.
Cal scored. Raley went to third. That's a 3-4 ball game. The Yankees ended up scoring one in the 8th inning, so they made it 4-1. So now it's 3-4 Yankees. Dylan Moore.
At this point, we're like, Mariners, don't do this to us. Don't give us any hope.
Don't give us hope just to make the loss worse. But Demo, with runners on the corner, starts out 0-2, works it to a full count, and gets the walk. Big, huge veteran at bat.
Huge balls, big, huge balls, Demo. That was an awesome at bat. To go 0-2, work a full count, and walk with runners on second and third, you know he's hungry. But when you look at Demo's Savant page, he's one of the best at chase. He's one of the highest percentiles in not chasing out of the zone. So he's the man in that situation. Loads him up. They didn't have to pitch to him there. They kept throwing him pitches, and he knew the situation because they would rather put him on first than give him something to hit. And he did exactly what he needed to do there and loaded him up.
Yeah.
Booney comes out, talks to their pitcher. I thought he was going to pull him. I guess maybe Holmes said something to convince him to just walk back, but I was like...
Holmes was like, nah, I got this.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
Do ya?
I heard Boone was coming out, and I was like, okay, cool. I have him in it. We can chill. And then I was like, oh,
they're leaving him in.
Okay. The manager coming out is usually taking the ball. So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I honestly thought they were going to pull him. And then when Boone walks back, I was like, let's play ball, boys.
he just asked him, like, do you feel okay? Do you want this? He's like, yeah, I fucking want this.
Pretty much. That's how, yeah.
Well, get it. Come get it, Clay Holmes. We got Canzone at the plate.
Yeah.
He boosts one to the right field wall, really high fly ball. It was scary. That place went silent, and we hit one right to the edge of the track there, and it looked like it was going to be a grand slam. But either way, it's a sac fly, and we tie up the game 4-4 in the 9th inning off the best closer in the game.
What is happening?
And to start with one out, it's not like we got a rally going and then an out happened. We literally started first batter out.
Yep.
And just to battle like this.
With 2 outs.
But it wasn't over yet.
No, because hit artist Ty France steps up to bat, and he hits a little RBI single to score another run.
Yep, slap one through the right
5-4
side.
Mariners. We're finally in the lead in the 9th inning.
After not shit
After
happening.
8 innings of bullshit baseball. Nothing.
More errors than hits. And the Mariners come back against the best closer in the American League right now, and in baseball, and just
That was insane.
took them to the cleaners.
At that point, we knocked Clay Holmes out of the motherfucking game.
Yeah.
And he went home a stinky boy. He was very upset.
I'm sure Stroman didn't talk to him for days.
Yeah.
And you know what? What's
him
a
on
crazy
ice.
thing about that is that the Mariners didn't do it by the long ball.
No.
It wasn't, a walk, maybe a single, and then a 3-run shot. It was situational hitting. Getting them on, getting them over, getting them in. And
Putting
they did,
the ball in play.
and good things will happen.
Come on.
Everyone did it. And the thing that led this off, too, like you said, with 1 out, Josh Rojas grounded out. Julio came up. I think he did the same thing. He worked a full count from being behind in the count, and he barely hit this ball, swinging bunt towards third base, and he had like a 31 feet per second sprint speed to first base. He's a 98th percentile sprint speed guy, and that was Sarah Langs posted that in that Yankees game that his 2 fastest home to first times were in that game, and that last one was over 31 feet per second. So he was hauling ass down the line to get on base, and he barely made it, and that's what started our rally. So I do want to commend Julio for doing that, even though he's not putting up power numbers. That's a guy that is working hard and does not give up. So it was great to see that he beat that out and started this rally for us.
Yeah. So we need to bring in Munoz to save the game.
Munoz. Well, how's he feeling during this comeback? Like, he wasn't expecting to get up today.
Yeah, he was probably he was sitting there in the 8th inning, and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm not playing today."
Hey, Andres, get hot. What? Oh shit.
I cannot believe the 180 Munoz has done from the beginning of the season, and then to come into this game, which is huge. The Mariners do have the momentum, but that's still that's a high leverage situation. I mean, every save is high leverage, let's be real.
Yankee Stadium.
But this one in particular, against the heart of the lineup, you're going up against Soto. You're going up against Judge. Like, the big time players need to make big time plays, and that's exactly what Munoz did.
The way he just big dick challenged Judge.
Oh my God.
With a fast 101.
I have goosebumps right
101
now.
on the corner to freeze Judge and just K him up.
Yeah, and that
Beautiful.
thing tailing barely hits the black, just paints it. And Judge could do nothing with that pitch. There's nothing you can do. He's going to watch that film and have nightmares. You know what I mean? That shit is awesome. So he ends up, Soto reached with 1 out, and Judge was batting, and he just couldn't hit it. So
that
Soto
was a
on
walk-off situation for Judge, who could easily, I mean, he's done it throughout his career. He can win that game with one swing of the bat. So for Munoz to K him up like that, I mean, just amazing baseball.
That's all or nothing, and we got all. Verdugo also came up after him. Another tough batter with a lot of power, can easily put one out at Yankee Stadium to any field. He grounds out weakly, and Dylan Moore runs the ball out, underhands it to Ty France, and the Mariners take the victory in Game 1 of the series.
Oh, a 4-game series.
Yeah,
long
4-game
series with the Yankees too.
So
But
that's
we
huge.
start out on top.
Yes, and again, this was the second leg of this crazy road trip that we're on right now. We're recording this one on a Friday. Actually, the Mariners are in DC right now playing the Washington Nationals. We actually have the game going on
they
right
are.
here.
Nationals Park.
But yeah, we knew how tough this road trip was going to be. You drop the ones in Baltimore, drop the series, come to New York, and just to not give up and to battle it out and take that first game, that's huge.
God, that game was insane, man.
One more thing about that game. Cal Raleigh was awesome behind the plate.
Yeah.
He ended up throwing out 2 runners at second base. Huge in big situations too. Volpe, both of them were overturned challenges. They were both called safe on the field, and our guy, I forget his damn name
I
every
always
time.
forget his name.
But he's special.
We'll remember his name.
We'll give him a shout out. Don't worry.
Yeah, that guy deserves some love because we challenged both of those, and we got 2 caught stealings today in big situations. And Cal and Dylan Moore out there making crazy tags. Just his throw will tail towards the runner and takes whoever's fielding the ball towards the runner in right field, but they're getting them on their backside or their feet before they hit the bag. So the throw is good enough. It's there early enough that the guy can jump over there. So it looks like he's safe, but we're getting him because the throw's there so quickly, even though it's tailing away.
And I saw the Mariners have 9?
That's Cal's 9th caught stealing. I think he at that
Leads
point
the league
led the
again.
major leagues. Yeah,
Again, the dude can throw out base runners.
he's so valuable, man. So the Mariners going into Tuesday after winning that game 5-4 in dramatic fashion. We have Brian Wu versus Clark Schmidt. And Brian Wu had a nice start against the Yankees last year.
Yes, he did.
So he went like 6.1 or 5.1 innings, no earned runs last year. This year, he went to go top that at Yankee Stadium again. But Clark Schmidt also, he's 5-1 this year with a 2.49 ERA, and he has been dealing all year. So it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah, started out the inning, though. Canzone made a great diving catch in right field.
Yeah.
This is one thing that caught my ear that I've kind of noticed. It seems like the Mariners booth is being told to, say positive things about Julio. This could be, tinfoil hat, whatever. It just seems that they're not ones to criticize Julio. I think they have word from the upper brass to be he's our superstar. Don't criticize him. Don't turn public opinion sour on him. So an example of this is when Canzone made that diving catch, Riz was making the call, "Oh, an amazing diving catch by Canzone." And Julio was standing behind him ready for backup. And it's just why? It just seems weird that would be part of the call, right? There's always someone backing up. That's just what you do.
If he didn't catch the ball, sure, that's a good point to make. But he caught the ball. Make it about Dom, not about Julio standing behind him doing nothing at this point.
I remember because I hit you guys up and then put it in the doc, but it was weird the way it didn't come off natural, and it really seemed like they're being told, don't disparage Julio in any way. We don't want to sway public opinion in the negative.
I'm sure they are instructed to do that kind of thing. I did notice the broadcast crew was a little bit weird that day. It was an intense game, and a lot of good things were happening, but I felt like the way they were telling it to me was coming off flat. They were emotionally careful and weird about it. So I think maybe they had a meeting, because I did hear Angie going off and talking about all kinds of weird shit with Ryan Roland Smith after the game, and talking about running to buses in Japan and like riding a train and didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Like she's like, I need a nap. Like and like I don't know, maybe they got notes because they were getting a little bit too loose and now they were kind of adjusting back and being like, okay, how much can I give before it's too far? Where is that line? And it was weird for an intense game like that to feel like that the whole game, where I'm like, why does this not feel exciting? Like they're not giving it to me.
You know what I like to think? I like to think that I don't know, they were so happy after the Mariners win that the broadcast crew went out and got hammered. They just partied hella hard and they were all hungover the next day, and that's why they were like just like putting in the motions, because the Mariners do have one of the best all-around broadcast crews in all of baseball, everywhere from Jen Mueller and Angie Mentink up to Riz and Sims, Hill, Goldsmith. Like, we are blessed.
And we're the most traveled, and they also don't have a day off when we don't have a day off too. I mean, they rotate more than the team does, but also I think that's part of it too, is they're going through the long stretches without days off as well. So
the more I listen to
adjustments
Gary
have to
Hill, the more I like Gary Hill.
I've always
that
liked
dude
Gary.
rules.
Yeah,
He's like color commentary, but like color commentary.
Yeah,
that
he's
dude, he can say whatever he wants.
He's
He
so
chimes in every
personable.
couple innings.
He's
yeah,
just like over here, and he's like, and they just hit a 2-run homer in Detroit. I'm like, thanks, Gary.
Is this the first time you've mentioned Detroit this year, Gary? I don't think I've heard. Yeah,
it's like, oh, I've wanted to. Trust me. Yeah, Gary's funny.
yeah, I like him.
Anyways, back on track with the game. Little segue there.
Yeah, we still got 3 games in this Yankees series.
Yeah, game 2, the first inning, it started off hot. Canzone made that great play in right. Wu went 1-2-3, got a strikeout, and then that was the top of the first inning when the Mariners were batting. They played great defense as well. It was Oswaldo Cabrera at third base making a great jumping catch to Rob Rojas, and then Glaber made a really nice play. I think it was Julio batting to like a sliding play to get Julio at first, and just great defense all around. Just make this game intense from the get-go after the night before. So in the third inning, this is when things get rolling for the Mariners. Rojas doubles. Demo kind of gets screwed at the plate on a terrible 2-strike call.
No, it was two. The 2 called strikes against him were so far outside. I mean, I'm talking like it wasn't even close. In the first one, they're like, wow, I can't believe he called that a strike. That is so outside. And then the next pitch was a ball. And then another one, same location, this far outside.
If they're going to call it, they're going to throw it there again. So they got the call again.
Yeah. So Moore was in a 1-2 hole with both strikes, just not even being close. And Moore said, oh, okay, if this strike zone isn't fair, I'm just going to rip one into the seats.
All right.
Boom. 2-run bomb.
Bingo, bango.
Demo, I mean, talk about making an impact with this team. He's getting more playing time with the injuries. And now that the people with their injuries are starting to come back, he has played himself into an everyday role. And he deserves it.
Making TV appearances, getting credit for hitting balls real good.
Yeah.
Demo's back, baby.
I liked his segment on MLB TV because he was just kind of like, I just kind of keep it simple. I don't think about all
what
of
do you
that.
think about in these situations? And he's just like,
I just
bro, ball.
keep it simple. Barrel, ball, let's go.
Yeah.
And honestly, Dylan Moore, he was saying some more, in-depth things than that, but it was funny. He's just a simple guy, and he's very quick. He doesn't want to be late on a fastball, and that's something that everyone can take notes from. And Dylan Moore, I've been saying it, the most ready player we have on a daily basis. The most twitchy and fast and ready guy that we have, and that's what we need on this team. He's been a spark plug.
Did we have something happen in the bottom of the fourth inning on defense? A little outfield miscommunication?
Well, before that, Canzone had another diving catch and right. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
But
Canzone's
On the other side of the outfield.
he's awesome. But yeah, we did have some miscommunication in the fourth inning. Verdugo hit one into the gap. and it was Luke Raley in left, who's a big, fast guy too, and Julio's out there in center. They're both running at this ball in the gap towards the wall where it's not that deep.
Right.
And we need to field that ball and get it back in. It's a double for sure. It's like towards the wall in the gap. Verdugo's fast enough to get to second base. But it was miscommunication, I guess. Did they look at each other and like both hesitate, or was it?
That's pretty much what happened. It was super awkward. They both had a good angle for the ball, and it kind of split them. So the ball's coming here, and they're angling, but then like right before they get to the ball, they look at each other. And then try
Am I
to
going to get it? Are you going to get it? Am I going to get it? Are you going to get it?
And it kind of bounced off the wall and like bounced off Raley and bounced off Julio, and Julio grabbed it and threw it in, and by that time Verdugo.
Yep, he'd already made it to third at that point. Turn that double into a triple.
That's an error.
And I'm about to smash this table.
We built this, okay?
You
we put a lot of work.
It's really sturdy.
It's too strong. The outfield miscommunication needs to stop. Point blank. We cannot keep talking about this week in and week out. They need to figure it out. I don't know what is going on, but it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now, because it's the fact that we've had so many instances. Every week we have one or two more instances that we talk about. The fact that it hasn't led to an inside the park home run or a significant injury is mind-boggling.
You're really pressing our luck.
Seriously, we're running out of chances. Like, whatever the outfield coach is doing, I don't know, make them all have a sleepover and they can all tell their deepest, darkest secrets and they can bond. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something. A seance, I don't know. Figure it out.
It sucks because Julio is so damn good out there in center field. He's one of the best defenders in the entire league, has a pretty damn good arm too. The best range in the league, like 98th percentile range, and like his arm value is pretty high too. So it's hard because who else are you going to put out there that has to work with that, right? Like, he has so much range. Do you have to start putting your left fielder farther away from him so you can cover the line more than the gap because Julio can reach that? Is it a positioning adjustment they have to make? But maybe, but mostly that's Julio's ball. Julio needs to know he's picking that up and throwing it in. Raley needs to realize as soon as he knows that Julio's in that area, he needs to know your personnel, know that he's there and back off, like slow down earlier. I know you're both sprinting at this thing, but if you know you're going to run into your center fielder out there because you've gone that far, slow down so he can just not have that to worry about, a big 6'4" guy running at him at full speed. And it's hard. They do need to make that adjustment now. That's something that can't keep going on with how good Julio is out there.
Right. Well, JP got a hit.
He did. JP's
first hit back.
Yep.
That's good.
Well, luckily that
Best Mariner
error didn't lead to a run, right?
Right.
That is true, too.
So we're
it
good.
ended up being for naught, it was no biggie. But still, it's not even... It's just more the principle of
of course.
Yeah, the outfield communication is abysmal.
It's been an ongoing problem.
Seriously.
Yep.
But Best Mariner, JP, top of the fifth. He started this game, the first game he started. Yeah, got a nice single. So,
which also doesn't lead to a run, but hey, that's fine.
But hey, he got a hit.
It's notable.
Next couple innings, woo.
Oh
3
my
up, 3
God.
down. Just crushing the Yankees today.
He was unhittable, dude.
No earned runs, but he pitched 6 innings.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks is that if he had the spring training, he probably could have gone a complete game. But because he's still getting his arm worked out, they pulled him at 71 pitches.
Yeah, they got him around 75 before they're just something like that. But
yeah, it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to let him roll.
Honestly, that probably would have been the game to do it. But you also don't,
You want to pull your starter too early or you want to pull your starter too late?
That's true, especially with the criticisms of the last episode of pulling starters too late. And I get what they're doing with Wu. They want his arm ready.
In the seventh, it was Judge, Rizzo, and Torres coming up. It wasn't going to be easy, and you want him to finish on top. Don't get blown up in the 7th inning.
Right.
Just go home, shutting out the Yankees through 6 with 7 strikeouts and no walks at Yankee Stadium. Go home with that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Don't even give him the opportunity
Do
to
you
get
guys
blown
think
up.
with the miscues of last week might have also led to that decision to not have him throw 80, 85 pitches, not even start the inning? Because like Matt just said, yeah, it's, the heart of their lineup, and Scott got shell-shocked back-to-back by leaving starters in too long.
We did talk about that.
So
We harped on it.
I wonder if that might have played a role in being like, hey,
Could be.
learn from your mistakes. And he was already on a pitch count.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah, probably, man.
I think they're going to
Well-
let him off the leash soon.
they will. They will.
God, I hope so.
Yes.
Because he's good.
Yes.
He's real good. So they put in Spire. Spire kind of shits the bed.
Yeah.
Spire's been a little rough recently.
That's your boy,
He
Gabe the
is.
Babe.
I love Gabe
too.
the
What's
Babe.
happening with your boy?
I don't know, but it's
What's the eye test saying?
Yeah, what does the eye test say? I mean, he walked Judge. He plunks Rizzo. They got him out of there. They're like, okay, you don't
He
have
was
it.
scared. He was shook.
Also, I think the Rizzo hit, he was ahead in the count too, if my memory serves me. It's on the notes, but I think he was ahead in the count and then just tried to like bury something or whatever and hit him in the foot. I know it was, it wasn't like up in the back or anything.
Yeah.
It was literally on the foot. So
Yeah.
he spiked a pitch, spiked it inside and got him.
So he just didn't have his feel today. Maybe he was a little bit all amped up because it is Yankee Stadium. And
Well, they bring in Thornton,
yeah,
and Torres hits a 3-run shot off of him.
damn it. Thornton keeps being the guy that,
You are Thornton.
With his glasses.
yeah, Thornton
I mean-
keeps being the guy that inherits runners and gives them up and is all pissed about it. And it sucks. Thornton's
Bullpen
good.
seemed a
I
little
like
off
Thornton.
lately.
It's been off.
It has.
We
It-
like our bullpen.
It's
but
great. It's one of the top bullpens in baseball, but they
Something's weird.
Mm-hmm.
They have been a little rocky past week and a half, 2 weeks.
And that will happen. Even our starting pitching is getting blown up a little bit more now. It looked really dominant for the stretch we had that was crazy, and now we're coming back to earth a little bit in our whole entire pitching staff and facing better offenses. So it's not easy, and we don't have a lot of rest days, and it sucks that they get put in tough situations like that. Coming in with 2 runners on and facing Gleyber Torres is never easy. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens, man. It was 4-3 at that point, right? So
yeah, and so Yankees kind of had the momentum because they had the 3-run home run off of Thornton, and even though the Mariners are still holding on to the lead by 1 run, the momentum is definitely in New York's favor now. They're trying to do to the Mariners what we did to them the night previously.
yeah, and
However, our boy Luke Raley stifles that momentum because after their 3-run bomb, top of the next inning, Luke Raley leads it off, solo shot. And just like that, 2-run lead, and I mean, not even as much of the score, just the momentum, the air, like in your sails, it dwindles. And it definitely, because who's to say, honestly, because the Mariners or the Yankees didn't score a run the rest of the game. We ended up winning by 2. But who's to say if Raley doesn't hit that home run, the Yankees hold the Mariners, then they're coming up to bat hot and ready. And it just, Raley really put a stifle on that. Like a bed sheet over a parakeet cage. Time to go to sleep.
yeah, it did help a lot. Like in the 7th inning, Ty France had hit a home run, Garver hit a double, and Dylan Moore drove him in to make the game 4-0 Mariners. So that 3-run home run by Torres really made this game interesting. Like it looked like the Mariners had him buried, and our bullpen is good, and we expected them to hold it. And they came back hot. This was an intense game. Luke Raley's solo homer in the 8th really did help the confidence of our team and keep our momentum enough to hold them off. And in the 9th inning, well, what happened here? In the 8th inning, when the Yankees were hitting, Stanek came in and made it interesting. This
Stanek
isn't
panic.
what I wanted to see here. Like, initially they wanted Spire to go a whole inning, Thornton to go a whole inning, not have to put Stanek in, and then go to Munoz.
Right.
But since, they let the runners on and give up the bomb, we kind of had to throw another man in the mix here, which is Ryan Stanek. And he does throw 100 miles an hour and does have a nasty splitter. He has great stuff if he doesn't throw too many pitches. But Volpe singled, and then he threw one past Cal, so he got to second base. But, oh my God. And the most, sorry, I got tripped up here because Soto and Judge are like the scariest part of their lineup, right? Volpe's on base. They can tie up this game easily. If Soto gets on and Judge hits a homer, they're ahead. And these are the guys that you cannot afford to let on base or do damage here. He got both of them out. And that was a huge spot. Ryan Stanek is not the guy that we expected to get those outs. But that's a really high leverage spot for him, and I hope that gives him a lot more confidence.
Me too, because he needs to get more than 2 outs before
Yeah.
that was blows up. And
That was a good inning for him. I like that a lot.
well, Demo had a great game.
He sure fucking did.
Demo had a crazy good game.
2 home runs for Demo.
Yeah.
Another Munoz save. And we're riding pretty high on
Yeah.
the first 2 games of those series.
Yeah,
this series.
we've already split the series, and we're like, okay, right on.
Yep.
It's really like what we need to do is split this series. It's 4 games.
that. Yeah, getting halfway there or winning 2 right off the bat is exactly what the Mariners needed. These are huge confidence boost wins for the Mariners on the road in Yankee Stadium. We already split the series, and we didn't have any boring games. These were exciting ass games.
The first one was super boring for 8 innings.
I guess
Hey,
you're right.
it got exciting at the
I
end.
was really
but-
bored,
You're right,
but it
it was
actually
frustrating.
popped off. That was second game. Sorry, not second game. Those first 2 games of the series where the Mariners won, that was the first time the Yankees have lost back-to-back games at home.
Yes, it
That's
was.
awesome.
That's crazy. I mean, the Yankees are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. Not even the American League. They're up there.
Yeah, with that offense in that stadium, it's hard to lose. So,
Yep.
and they don't even have their best pitching right now.
Let's continue with the Wednesday game after
Yeah.
we take a quick break.
Well, now we're on to Wednesday, and this is when the road trip stopped being fun.
Yeah, it wasn't very fun. We won those first 2 games, and it took to the last inning of the first game to really get things going. Second game was super exciting and tense. And Wednesday, we roll in Bryce Miller versus Nestor Cortez, the lefty. And we ended up losing that game 7-3. So wasn't very close.
And 7-3, the score doesn't even it wasn't even that close, honestly.
We had a shot late in the game, but we'll get there in a sec.
Basically, let's see. Judge hit a 2-run home run in the first inning, down early again, but
Straight line shot to right field too. Like what?
But I will say, with the previous 2 games, I had a little bit more confidence. I didn't, just because it was a 2-run shot in the first inning, I wasn't like, oh, there's no way for the Mariners to come back from this. I was like, okay, we've been down, we've battled this series. Let's we can come back from this. They did not. Nope.
So yeah, the first inning, JP led off with a walk, doing JP things.
Good start.
We didn't score. But the Mariners are giving me more confidence, too. Even after that Judge home run puts us down 2-0, after those couple games, the statement wins that the Mariners had the nights before, anything can happen. And that's really the feeling. So early in this game, the second inning, we had runners on first and second base with nobody out. It was Dylan Moore on second. It was Ty France on first. And we end up not scoring. There's no outs, and we got doubled up at the end of this inning on a strike him out, throw him out. So let's set this up here, because you're upset, Garrett.
Yeah, Ty's fat.
Yeah.
Mentally. I don't know. I don't care how much weight he lost. He can't run.
Ty got thrown out at second base to end the inning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm upset about that too. Ty France shouldn't ever get thrown out stealing, and I agree with that sentiment. But in this situation, it's not like it was Ty France straight stealing second base, and we would never do that. So with Dylan Moore ahead of him at second base and Polanco at bat, there's nobody out, and we try to double steal. So we're trying to get Dylan Moore to third, and Ty France will go behind him to second. And in this situation, the catcher was setting up to throw to third to try to get the lead runner, of course. In that situation, you do that. Polanco fouled that pitch straight back, so the runners have to go back. We showed our hand.
Yeah.
We showed them, this is what we want to do. It didn't work, and in this situation, like, with Polanco just needs to put the ball in play, right? And he strikes out. So then now there's one out with runners on first and second base. In this situation, Patrick, what do you do with runners on first and second with no outs? What are you trying to do as a hitter?
I got this one.
What is it?
Bunt.
You can bunt? Yeah. The point is move them the fuck over.
Do something.
Put the ball in play and get those runners to second and third base. Get out at first base. Just put those runners in scoring position. One of them, at least. And we don't do that. We strike out. So now one out. Double play is in order. Haniger's up. Haniger also strikes the fuck out. So he struck out looking. On a 2-strike count, we try to steal again, because in this situation, it's not a hit and run necessarily, but there's 2 strikes, and you're expecting your batter to be swinging at anything close in the zone. We're trying to avoid a double play, so we're stealing with 2 strikes. Haniger doesn't swing, gets rung up on a pitch that might have been barely off the plate, but in this situation, you need to be fucking swinging, especially when you know the steal is on. They go to steal, but Haniger strikes out looking, makes it super fucking easy for the catcher to make a throw down to second base and get the trailing runner, Ty France, because that pitch was strike 3. He knows that he can throw down to second base and get Ty France stealing and get the double play. That's a really heads-up play by their catcher. And I'm pissed the fuck off at our batters, and not at Ty France, not at our coaching philosophy, but in hindsight, just bunt Polanco there.
Oh, yeah.
He just came back from the IL. He's not feeling on. Of course, a 3-run bomb is always in play at Yankee Stadium, but just bunt. We're down 2-0, and we have runners on in the second inning. Put the ball on the ground and move those runners over. But we couldn't do that. We struck out twice with runners on first and second. So I'm not mad at Ty. I'm not mad at the coaching staff. I'm mad at striking out.
Mm-hmm.
We can't keep doing that. That's something we've seen too much of already. So that just sucked all around. I can't stand that shit.
Real frustrating.
One thing I noticed is also Julio struck out on the same pitch back-to-back at bats. And earlier in this episode when we talked about maybe the upper brass telling the announcers not to criticize Julio, I don't think Goldsmith got that message, because Goldsmith pulled no punches. He's off after the second strikeout to Julio. Goldsmith was essentially like, that's the same pitch, cutter off the zone, and Julio is late. He was late on the first one. He's late on this one. I don't know. He's just not seeing the pitches, and it was honestly kind of refreshing to hear that, because Julio has not lived up to his name so far this year.
No. And
he's being coddled by the front office, by the announcers, by media, everything. And, he's young. We can cut him some slack and stuff. But the thing is, he's the star, and he's not doing star stuff. And in this whole series, we saw Dylan Moore take over a game. We saw Aaron Judge take over a game. We saw Juan Soto take over a game.
Luke Raley helped out in all those games. Verdugo, there was Soto. There were very big influential players in this game, and Julio was nowhere near that list of players.
Not at all. Not
Seeing
even a little bit.
Verdugo, Dylan Moore, Luke Raley, all these guys who, you don't expect them to be the most impactful players, but you do expect Julio to be there, and he has not been.
And you expect Judge and Soto to be those guys, and they were.
Yep.
They took over games, and it's Julio just needs to get it together.
He's
and
not a difference maker right now.
He's not. He can be, but
and when he is, this offense looks a lot better than anytime he's at the plate. If he's on, and then he's scary, you know what I mean? They have to pitch our lineup differently. Right now, he's basically a strikeout guy. Like, they're looking to strike him out, not nibble and stay away from him like we do to Judge and Soto. We just nibble at the edges of the zone and try to strike him out in a different way or produce poor contact. They're going straight for Julio every time, and they're not worried about the power potential because he's not putting the ball in the air with authority on any fastballs. Sinkers especially, two-seamers, the ones that from right-handers that go break inside towards his hands and get him jammed up. The way he swings and is off-balanced and leans over the plate, they know exactly how to attack him, and he can't make the adjustment. And I see it even in and at bat. His back foot will come off of the ground, and it's like, dude, and he falls over the plate. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Weird
Stay
balance
balanced.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then he'll try to make the adjustment and stay on his back foot, but then can't reach the pitch down and out that he's trying to reach. And it's like, dude, you're trying to make in at bat adjustments right now. What is going on? Can we get some consistency? Can you keep your back foot on the ground and hit from your back hip instead of lunging out towards all these fucking pitches? Even the ones coming inside, he's lunging towards and can't get his hands around on it and falling across the plate. It's pissing me the fuck off, man. He doesn't have timing. He doesn't have balance. And he should be a difference maker like those guys. And playing against those guys and watching them do it to us, we need one of those guys on our team, and he's supposed to be it. So it sucks, man. He's just kind of just an average player. He's basically Ty France right now.
Damn, homie. Yeah.
Sucks. It sucks.
And in this game, it was pretty much, excuse me, it was pretty much all Yankees. The Mariners did try to battle back a little bit in the eighth. Cal hit a 3-run home run, came and gave the Mariners life, but
Cal's so clutch.
he really is. In a cruel twist of fate, just like the Mariners the night previously had hit a home run to kind of stifle the Yankees' comeback. That's what the Yankees did to us in this game, where Cal hit a 3-run home run, and just like that, one swing of the bat, we're right back in it. Mm-hmm. We think,
with momentum,
we got it. But then Verdugo for the Yankees hit a 2-run bomb in their 8th inning, and it just stifled whatever life the Mariners had in that game. And
Just sucks. We had so many chances to create momentum. We had so many runners on that never scored.
Yes, and so for this game in my notes, I took that I wasn't really stressing about the loss. Yes, this was a game the Mariners should have typically won. They had Nestor throw over 20 pitches in 3 straight innings.
Yeah, he was like over 70 after the 3rd inning.
Yeah, they had tons of traffic, and they just couldn't get them in. But they did work the starting pitcher. And for this one, I wasn't too worried about the loss. Their big players made big plays, and some days you just get beat. That's just baseball. And that day, the Mariners got beat. It wasn't pretty, but I was like, okay, I can live with this. However, going into the next game, not something I could easily live with. Thursday.
Yeah, at least we scored runs on Wednesday. Well, we put the ball in play.
Thursday, Mariners had a 9:35 start time.
On the West Coast.
I like baseball a lot, but 9:30 is pretty early for baseball.
Yeah, I slept straight through that. I work at night.
Yeah, it was a crazy early game. And also, have you guys noticed these afternoon games or early morning, any early starts for the Mariners, it seems like they're just lethargic out there. Like,
yeah, and they're usually not putting the best team on the field. They're really just kind of they're not going into the game with an intention to win.
I believe that. Like,
I do
with
too.
The lineup they set.
I think they want to win, but it's hard. Yeah, it's a day that they definitely try to give regular players a day off, and it is kind of a reset day in the week. And this one being Game 4 after already winning the first two, knowing we split the series at least. Of course, they're trying to win with whatever they put out on the field. And they want to win, but you don't put your best foot forward on this day, and it's hard to expect a win on that day.
I mean, that's the way you win 54% of your games, is to be 2 games up in a series, go into the third game and put some crap on the field and say, yeah, at least we won 2.
Yeah, how about
and
we
then go into the next 3-game series thinking the same way. Let's get 2 games up and then just kind of toss the third one in the trash. Come out 54%.
Got to go full charge through all 4, and then for the Nationals series, then do whatever, rest your guys. Like, this is the Yankees. Let's. How about we try to put our best foot forward every single day, every inning we play them.
And honestly, this Thursday game was just abysmal. Mariners got shut out.
And blanked.
5-0.
Yep.
And the Mariners only had 3 hits.
Yeah.
It was Luis Castillo versus the Yankees pitcher Luis Gil. So it was a battle of the Luises. And their young guy, I think he's only like 25 years old.
Yep.
Came out on top. He dominated the Mariners. There's not a whole bunch of notes on this game because nothing happened.
I know that we got 1 hit off of Heel, whatever his name is, Heel. And he dominated us, man. He struck us out a lot. Gave up 1 hit, and that's all she wrote, really. Castillo gave up a couple home runs to their big boys, of course.
Soto had, or Stanton.
It was
Stanton and Judge again.
Solo shots by them.
More non-notable things is we picked up a new guy who just got DFA'd from the Orioles, new relief pitcher.
Oh, yeah,
put him in, and he's sucked.
Mike Bauman.
Bauman, yeah.
Did not do well.
More notable unnotable notes.
So, all in all, despite how bullshit the final 2 games of that Yankees series was, and dropping the series to the Orioles, in the grand scheme of things,
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. You dropped a series in Baltimore to a great team. You split a series in New York with the top record in the American League. You got to their unhittable closer, and you caused him to blow a save. Like, you're not like we. And you know what? Even if we split the series with the Yankees, no matter what, it would have been nice if the last 2 games were a little bit more competitive.
Yeah,
especially that Thursday game where nothing happened. But you're looking pretty on this road trip so far. So at that point, let's see, they're 3-3.
So they went. They lost the series to the Orioles, right?
2-1.
2-1, and then split a 4-game series.
So they're 3-4 on the road trip.
So they need to win 2 out of 3 against the Nationals to go 500 on the road trip, and that's what we want to see. Well, of course we want to do better than that, but you can't ask for more than that when you're facing the Orioles and the Yankees.
Yeah.
And you're not getting any days off. It's a long East Coast road trip. I mean, we can give them slack for things like that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, coming out 500 would be amazing.
The Orioles and the Yankees are teams that are better than the Mariners at this point. It's hard to disagree with that. In my opinion, in the grand scheme of things, those teams are just better than the Mariners right now. And we know the Mariners are finding ways to win, but they don't have that underlying winning culture, the vibe that's there. It's kind of like here and there. We're streaky. We have games where it's there, and then we're kind of washed out the next game, or it's not carrying over in the way that we need it to. So playing those teams and playing well against those teams and not getting swept by either of them and winning those first 2 against the Yankees were huge. I think the Mariners are set up to do good things. I'm not like, are we happy with the Mariners right now? Like, are you happy when you think about this team?
That's a loaded ass question.
Well, I mean,
I'm like 65% happy. And it is, you have to remind yourself, the Mariners are in first place. Our division is not doing well right now, and the Mariners are, it almost seems like the Mariners are allergic to sweeps, for better or for worse. Because we swept the Reds, and since then, every single series has been 2-1 or the 2-2 Yankee split. But we're not getting swept. We didn't get swept by the Orioles. We managed to win one. In our other series, we'll take 2 of the 3 and win them. So there are positives from that, and not getting swept but not sweeping. Either way, we're staying. Our head is above water.
Yeah, we
have breathing room.
We're not necessarily. We didn't catch a draft yet. Like, our sails are up, and we're trying to find the wind tunnel to get in, and so we can really sail across this ocean that we're facing. We're about a third of the way through the season. We've reached the quarter point, and we're quickly approaching a third of the way through the season. And we know Julio will be better at some point and help carry this team's offense, but that needs to happen sooner rather than later because we face the Astros soon.
The Astros are making a comeback.
Yeah. So let's see. The Orioles series, in general, we couldn't hit their starting pitching, and their offense killed us, right? Dylan Moore and Luke Raley were really good, but Josh Rojas has been slumping.
Yes.
Can we check Josh Rojas's numbers for like the last 7 days, I guess?
Yeah.
And see if he's gotten any better. Because Zavala isn't getting it done.
No.
In the Yankees series,
I'm really trying hard not to harp on the fact that Zavala's not getting it done, because I'm just going to say the same thing 1,000 times.
That was just a notable thing about the Yankees series, or the Orioles series again, because we saw it. So the Yankees series, we talked about the Yankees series. We did good. Taking 2 games out of 4 was awesome. Now we're in the National Series, and we're watching the game in front of us here. George Kirby got blown up a little bit today and hasn't been his best lately. We're down 5-1 in like the 7th inning right now. So
this game, today's game that's going on right now that we have in front of us, JP, best Mariner, led it off with a home run.
He's back, baby.
And
best Mariner.
Also, Washington is like 6 games below 500. We should. These are the types of games where you want to show what your team is.
Yep.
And right now we are getting dog walked by the Nationals. It is 5-1 in the 8th inning. And the Mariners offense they're not threatening. It's not like we're getting traffic and like, oh, we could have penciled some in here. No, nothing's happening. Same shitty Mariners offense. This is not what you want to see coming out of the New York series.
How's Josh Rojas?
For his last 5 games, he's 1 for 16.
Eesh.
He's gotten. He got 1 hit on. The 21st.
Yeah, and before that, it wasn't good either. I know he broke a 0 for streak with that hit, and he's 0 for since.
That's tough. He was so hot.
On the 18th, 0 for 3. 19th, 0 for 4. 20th, 0 for 4.
Do we expect a turnaround from Rojas? I mean, seeing what he was capable of through March and April, and then May came around and he started cooling off. I didn't think he'd go all the way down under league average type batter, but I mean, do we expect him to bounce back and have a streak again like that?
Well, I sure hope so. I don't know what to expect out of him, though. I don't even know if he is used to playing so much in a season.
Yeah.
Do you know how many games he usually plays?
I don't know, but with the Diamondbacks, he started playing more.
Yeah. He's kind of moved into an everyday guy.
We want him to. I mean,
know,
on our team, yeah.
But is
we
that
were
a lot
talking
for him?
about it.
Is that like a huge workload upgrade?
It looks like on average, just ballparking here, it looks like since he's become a starter in baseball, he averages about 130 games a year. So he does have the playing time.
Sure. Well, in
under his
that
belt.
case, yeah, if he's used to the workload, I think we see him come back.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he turns that around because we just optioned Luis Urias down to AAA as well.
Jonathan Clase
Jonathan Clase is back.
is back up. Good for him. He was completely electric when he came up the first time. Gave a nice little boost to the Mariners at that point. He was electric with his speed. Had some really nice base hits. It's good to see that he got called back up again. He's going to face some more time on the major league roster. Good for him. And, not really a loss sending Urias down.
Yeah, he wasn't doing awesome at the plate, and he wasn't figuring out how to throw the ball to first base better. I've watched Ty France bail him out so many fucking times this year, and he's lucky that Ty France is a pick artist over there because he still makes throwing errors, and that's something he started proving that he could do, and then just more of the same. I couldn't say that he should be playing third base.
Small surge in his bat, and then kind of back to more of the same.
Yeah.
He was okay there for a second, and then...
So with JP back on the roster, and Dylan Moore can move into that platoon situation at third base and in the outfield if we need him to be a right-handed bat in the outfield, but we also have Clase there too. Hopefully Clase can be a better offensive producer than Urias was. I like that sending Urias down just gives Dylan Moore more regular at-bats, which is exactly what we need right now.
Yes.
He's a spark plug.
Also, and again, I know, and I have to spend a lot of time on Facebook, like promoting our page and stuff like that. And the negativity I see day in and day out, it's a little hard to deal with.
I know we didn't spend money to get the impact bat we need. We know, but we're playing baseball. Can we get excited about the team we have on the field instead of bitching about not getting that bat? We know. We've been talking about it for years. Stop.
There are positives. Like we're never gonna be a doom and gloom Sogcast. It's not what we do here. Even when there are legitimate reasons to be frustrated, which there's plenty of things to be frustrated about with this team, with our offense, our pitching right now, our starting pitching, our strikeout numbers have gone way down. They're not K'ing guys up like they used to right
Giving
now.
up a lot of homers.
Yes, it's a little bit of a rough stretch, but even still, our rough stretches haven't been completely abysmal. If your rough stretch is splitting a 4-game series in New York against the top record in the American League, that's not that bad.
No.
And
good call.
Yeah.
There are games that we should have won that we didn't, and there are games that we won
That we
shouldn't have. We have no
we shouldn't have
business
been
winning.
anywhere near winning.
So it's baseball. This is a long season. We're sticking 3 games above 500, which I like. We haven't gone back down under 500. What I am worried about is the upcoming series with Houston, who is surging. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they've made their way back to 22-28. And we're only 4.5 games ahead of them in the division, and we have a 4-game series with them Monday through Thursday. So the Mariners need to get 3 of those wins to keep Houston from coming back like that, because the way they roll is, I mean, they're not that worried. They know it's only a third of the way through the season, and they're going to finish strong because they started slow. That once they get on a roll, they don't slow down. They start rolling. And the Mariners are so streaky that it's like at any point we can drop 5 in a row or win 5 in a row. But we need to have a winning streak now and not worry about going back under 500. And no one else is even close to 500. 24-27 is where the Rangers sit. Like, this is the only opportunity we're going to have all year because one of these teams is going to surge. and be there with us. And this is our only opportunity to stack early, and it needs to happen this week against Houston.
One thing that's super rough is we've talked this week and the previous week about how rough this road trip is, and keep in mind that after today's game on Friday, we have 2 more against the Nationals, and then we fly home for that 4 game against the Astros without a day of rest, which means we're going from East Coast back to West Coast, 4-game series against a division rival with no days off.
That's very brutal.
It's crazy.
These boys are tuckered.
They're tuckered out.
Our bullpen is going to be on its last legs, especially Game 3, Game 4 of this Astros series. If we don't have a starter throw a complete game, our bullpen is going to be fucking taxed.
I think that's why we picked up Mike Bauman, and we also sent Cody Bolton down because I don't know, maybe he wasn't effective or we haven't been using him.
Do we have any timeline on Saucedo coming back?
I haven't seen it. I'll look it up right now.
I think he's on just the 15, right? I think he's on the 15-day IL, and they didn't expect it to be longer than that. So from the time, when did that happen? Like a week ago? So should be back in
It seems like it's been about 10 days already.
Feels like it.
So he should be on his way back soon.
We need that guy.
All right,
need him back.
So it looks like today, Saucedo struck out 1 over a scoreless inning Thursday. So yesterday he had a rehab.
Oh. Cool. That's good.
So yeah, he landed on the 15-day a little over 2 weeks ago now with a hyperextended knee. So
hope to see him back in that
seems
home
good.
Game stretch.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good news.
Yeah, but he'll probably just replace Snead, that's an upgrade.
Yes, it is. Snead, congratulations on being the 1,000th Mariner of all time. That's super cool, but he is just a guy.
Kirby Snead.
Yeah, wish he was dope because his name rules.
Yeah.
That's a sick baseball name. Kirby Snead. Sounds old-timey.
I have a guy on my baseball team, my men's league. How's this for a baseball name? Todd Sheets.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good name.
Todd is always a good baseball name.
Shout out Todd.
Todd
Shout out
Hollins.
Todd.
What's up, Todd? Todd Hollinsworth. That's a good one. What's another Todd in the league? Todd Hundley. Yeah, I remember some Todds.
Now, see, Todd Hundley sounds like he could work like HR.
I was just thinking Todds that we're actually in baseball.
Todd Helton.
Todd Helton.
There
we go.
There we go. That's a baseball name.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Well, boys.
So,
any other big topics we need to cover before?
I think the main one to close this out is, and this can cover some ground, is we got to discuss Julio.
Okay.
He's been bad. He's not himself. So
and what's crazy is his average is still like 270, which blows my mind.
Yeah,
it doesn't. He's quietly 270. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also that means he's slapping a single in the first inning or maybe the 4th inning. He's getting a base hit here or there. But I don't see him really making a difference in the 7th, 8th, or 9th.
all right, let me run through some of his baseball savant stuff. So this is percentile rankings. His batting run value, 22nd percentile. Base running value, 18th percentile. So his offensive production, terrible. Fielding run value, 97th percentile. So he is killing it in the field.
Yeah.
His sprint speed's 98. His arm strength is 86th percentile. But all of his offensive stats, man. Chase, 13th percentile. Whiff percentage, 15th percentile. K percentage, 15th percentile. Walk percentage, 16th percentile.
Damn.
His barrel rate, 7.9%, is 54th percentile. And his sweet spot percentage, I guess that's launch angle sweet spot percentage, 45th percentile. So when he's putting the bat on the ball, he's doing it with authority. His average exit velocity is 91st.
91.
So it's 92.4 miles per hour. That's 91st percentile. and that's really good because his bat speed is 96th percentile. So he swings hard, he swings fast, he hits the ball hard when he hits the ball. Hard hit percentage.
Not often.
49% hard hit percentage, 87th in the league. So he needs to put the bat on the ball more. He's chasing a lot, he's whiffing a lot, he's striking out a lot, and he's not walking enough. So he's not being patient, and he can't be aggressive. Like, you can't be aggressive if you don't make good decisions.
If you're bad.
Yeah. He needs to make better pitch decisions.
Yeah.
He's getting beat. It's obvious how to beat him right now. Everyone's knows how to pitch him, and if they make mistakes, he's not doing what he should with a mistake pitch in the middle of the plate. He's putting the ball on the ground a lot more. He's not. I mean, his fly ball rate's okay, but when he flies out, it's weak, and he can't hit off speed for shit. He can hit a fastball like he did last year. His numbers on fastballs are pretty good, but only 2 home runs. Breaking pitches, he's doing okay, but off speed especially, he cannot hit a changeup for his life. And the sinker is the pitch that's really getting him out a lot. The ones that tail back,
that just drops out.
They're tailing back towards a right-handed batter from a right-handed pitcher, so it's sinking in towards his hands if it's higher in the zone, or down towards his knees or feet if it's lower in the zone. And his numbers on sinkers are awful, and changeups absolutely awful. Fastballs, sliders, they're okay, but for some reason, no changeups. He can't hit a sinker. He's off balanced.
No
he can't
fly
adjust.
Zone.
Yeah,
I mean, his defense.
At least he can do that.
Crazy.
At least he can do that, like the best of them.
Yeah,
like
and
elite.
you're saying he's fast in the field, but not fast on base.
Well, his base running value is low because he's not on base enough, and he's been picked off. He's been thrown out.
Yeah,
Like, he hasn't made the most of his opportunities on base. So his value's low because of those pickoffs.
yeah, it's a bummer, man. That's our guy, and that's our guy for a long time.
Yeah.
And
I trust him. He's hardworking.
But look at the stars of our team right now. Going into the season, who did we say our stars were going to be? J.P. Crawford, Cal, Mitch Haniger, Julio Rodriguez. Right now, it's Cal, who's been clutch, grand slams, clutch base, home runs late in games.
Luke Raley.
But yeah, so
and
that's
Dylan Moore.
That's my point. Is
Yeah.
we had this staple, this core that we were oh, these are going to be the dudes, and it's been Demo and Luke Raley who's really been getting it done, and Cal. But,
yeah. And those two guys should just be side pieces to fill in around the main pieces, but they've really played a major role, and they're not just minor role players. They're taking a step into everyday impact players, which is not what we expected from them. The switch, if Luke Raley was doing what Julio was doing right now, I'd be happy. And if Julio was doing what Luke Raley was doing, if they switched stats, I'd be oh yeah, this makes sense. But it's completely ass backwards. And
Yep, but
Julio,
they really helped us make the improvements we need to make.
Yeah.
While our core pieces just aren't doing what we need them to do. So it's cool that they're stepping up, but
gotta love it.
if we could get everybody to be on the same page, we could really make something out of this ball club. But right now, it's just not that way.
And
yet, despite all that bullshit, the Mariners are in first place. They're a first place ball club, despite our numerous problems. And we're going to drop this opening game to Washington.
It's not looking great.
The Mariners are 27 and 25 now, but hopefully trending upwards still. We need to win these games, man.
Luckily, the Rangers are losing when we lose.
Yeah.
Do you know when they play today? Or doesn't matter.
But if we think that way, then we land in the wild cards spot. We can't think that way. We need to really
I know.
Yeah. Also,
the wild card picture is too crowded to think that way.
Yeah.
At this time, 5:56 on Friday evening, the Texas Rangers are currently losing 2-3 to the Minnesota Twins in the bottom of the 6th.
Hey.
Let's go, Twins.
Yeah, go Twins.
I got to get out of here, you guys. It's 5:56. Yeah.
You got to go to your other job. This isn't your only job? I use this to pay
I wish
all
they'd
my
pay me
bills.
more, but damn. He's got to drive all the way out here to Seattle to be in the penthouse suite where we record, and
top of the Space Needle.
I got to go drive all the way back to work.
But so we dropped. Oh, it's over. We did drop the first one to the Nationals, and again, leadoff home run by JP, and then our offense did literally jack shit the rest of the game. Kirby didn't have it. He got tagged for a 3-run shot and a 2-run shot.
That Ruiz shot was huge. Keibert Ruiz went to deep center. It did not look pretty.
So to salvage this road trip, they do need to take the final 2 games of this Washington series.
Absolutely.
I can understand losing to the Orioles. Splitting with the Yankees is huge, but the Nationals are not an upper echelon team. The first 2 teams are literally top of the American League.
Somehow they always manage to beat the Mariners, though. That's just how it goes.
Is it weird to say these are must-win games against the Nationals? Like a National League team that's not over 500.
16-6.
But for the Mariners, must win.
Yeah, they did a graphic early on at the start of this game. Since 2005, the Nationals have played the Mariners 22 times, and they have won 16.
Oh, my God.
And now 23 with 17 wins.
Jesse Winker just winking at us from the other side, slapping the ball around the field. He's having a pretty good season so far, actually.
I picked him up on fantasy.
Nice. Not a bad call.
But let's salvage this series. Let's take 2 or 3 against the Nationals, and then we come home and have. I mean, God, we need the rest.
We're gonna have a kick-ass series against the Astros.
4 games against the Astros, and
gonna kick ass.
Hope so. And we'll be back next week to tell you all how it goes. And remember, stay positive. Yes, they have their ups and downs. They are in first place. There's positives out there too. There's plenty to be happy about.
And like I was asking you, like, are you happy with the Mariners? Yeah, we're happy. We're not happy-ish. And we get it. You know, we're here with you. Thanks for riding with us because we'll be here.
From first place.
Yeah. So we want more. We're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back next week to tell you all about what happened and keep you as the most informed fan base. Thank you all, and go Mariners!